Yes, good afternoon everyone. Welcome to Lukmaan IAS. This is DTRS session, Daily Takkar Rapid Series. This is class 91 of this lecture series, and we are discussing daily 10 quality MCQs based on that day's current affairs. Important topics, we can say important developments. So today's important development, comprehensive nuclear test ban treaty. It was in news. Russia threatened to, we can say, what you can say, yes, come out of this CTBT, we can say. Already it has ratified, but it has, let's say, de-ratification threat has been given. That's why it is in news, right? Yes, online students, good evening everyone. So let's start with the today's quotation first before discussing 10 MCQs. Today's quotation, what it is saying: honesty is the first chapter in the book of wisdom. Okay, so two values are mentioned here, honesty and wisdom, right? So we know that honesty means being truthful in one's conduct, being truthful. Okay, so honesty, we know that about honesty, we know that how Gandhiji is considered as epitome of this value, and since childhood we have been given this value by parents, by teachers, right? So yes, of course, honesty is important. Why? Because helps in strong interpersonal relations. Basically, it is also, we can say, basic human value, honesty, but universal value also, we can say. Why? Because it is appreciated everywhere, irrespective of time. In ancient times, medieval times, or even today, or be it in India or America or a Western society, Indian society, everywhere it is, we can say, appreciated. Why? Because it helps in building trust. When the person is honest to you, you start trusting that person, right? So when the person is not honest, we do not trust that person. Very simple. Be it in familial relations, or we can say that social relations, or we can say professional relations. Yes, it is applied everywhere, right? Now when the person is honest, we can say this is the first chapter in the book of wisdom. Now, wisdom is another value, or I would say virtue. Okay. Why I am saying that virtue? Because it is higher standard of human conduct as compared to values, virtues. Okay, so wisdom is, we can say that simply it is knowledge plus its understanding plus its application. That means the person knows what is right and wrong in a particular situation and chooses to be on the side of right. Okay, so this is what wisdom is saying. Now, honesty is the first chapter in the book of wisdom. That is true. If we practice honesty throughout our life, over the period of time, what happens is we try to, we can say, understand that what is right and wrong in a particular situation. Okay, and there will be some situations where we have to lie. Okay, and this is true, and this is how we move towards wisdom. First of all, we become honest. ठीक है, हम बचपन से बताया रहता है कि honest, 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 honest. And let's say tomorrow you become doctor. ठीक है, and there is a terminally ill patient in front of you. What you will tell him about his reports? Whether he is going to die in next 1 week, 1 month, what you will say to him? ठीक है, so you will hide those things from him, right? Of course. So basically this is what wisdom. आगे जाके आप एक step ahead जाते हो. That's why the first chapter it is saying. Now if let's say if you are dishonest, पहले से ही आप dishonest, so that means your moral faculty is not developed. Wise people have this moral faculty well developed. Okay, or development of, we can say, moral conscience, what we call it. ठीक है, moral development of conscience. So this is wisdom. Okay, and that comes over the period of time. मतलब हम जब यंग होता है तब वो विजडम नहीं आता है, ठीक है. इट कम्स ओवर द पीरियड ऑफ टाइम विथ एक्सपीरियंसेस, विथ नॉलेज, विथ वी कैन से एप्लीकेशन ऑफ नॉलेज. ठीक है, तो फाइन, नाउ वी हैव अंडरस्टूड दिस. लेट्स टॉक अबाउट. हाँ, टेल मी.
Sir, there is a saying that there is no absolute truth. There is your truth, there is my truth, but there is no absolute truth. So, sir, how to judge whether it is an honest action or not?
No, truth. Generally, when we say that it is universal truth, ठीक है, we say that these are generally observed facts, observed with our senses, established facts जिसको बोलते हैं ना, observed senses. ये गलत नहीं हो सकते. जैसे साइंस, जनरली साइंस इज बेस्ड ऑन दिस थिंग, नो, ऑब्जर्व्ड. ठीक है, बट many times people tell that I am speaking truth, or let's say this is the truth. Why? Because people are not verifying it. ठीक है, at the same time the data that is being told in the name of truth, that needs to be verified. ठीक है, तो जैसे बोलते हैं ना कि मेरे पास ग्लास आधा भरा हुआ है, दूसरा बोलता है कि मेरे पास आधा खाली है. बोलता है ना, दोनों सही है कि नहीं? आपके सामने एक चीज रखी है, आप कुछ ऑब्जर्व कर रहे हैं, दूसरा कुछ ऑब्जर्व कर रहा है, दोनों भी सही है, सच बोल रहे हैं दोनों भी. ठीक है, दोनों को बाहर जाने के बाद पूछा कि आपने क्या देखा अंदर. एक बोलता है मैंने आधा ग्लास आधा भरा हुआ देखा, दूसरा बोलता है ग्लास खाली देखा आधा. ठीक है, सो बेसिकली दिस इज द परसेप्शन. ठीक है, तो दिस इज बट रियलिटी, ऑब्जर्व फैक्ट्स, दिस इज रियलिटी, एंड द परसेप्शन टेंड्स टू डिस्टॉर्ट द फैक्ट्स. ठीक है, एंड द परसेप्शंस आर जनरली biased due to our own belief systems. ठीक है, our own belief systems. ठीक है, okay. Yes, these are today's topics. Let's discuss these MCQs one by one. First one, okay, about CTBT. Basics of CTBT, we are aware that comprehensive nuclear test ban treaty, as the name suggests, it is banning nuclear tests, nuclear explosives, we can say, explosions and tests completely, we can say. And the CTBT has been one of the important multilateral treaty in terms of disarmament, especially during the Cold War era. ठीक है, CTBT. NPT जैसे है ना, non proliferation, similar to that we can say CTBT is there. But there is a minor difference. We should understand that CTBT considers, let's say, more than P5 as nuclear weapon states, but NPT considers only P5 as weapon states. ठीक है, CTBT consider, let's say, India, Pakistan, हाँ. So basically these countries are also considered as nuclear weapon state by CTBT. ठीक है, तो ये statement देखिए, only considers 5. So this should be NPT. ये incorrect हो जाता है. India is not signatory to treaty. This is true. India is not signatory to NPT or CTBT. Along with that, you should know that the countries like USA, China, they have not even ratified it. Sign करके ratify नहीं किया है. But Russia ने वो ratify करके रखा.
In the parliament.
हाँ, in the parliament. Okay, in 2000 itself it has ratified, Russia. So that's why it is saying we will de-ratify it now. बाकियों ने नहीं किया है, US ने भी नहीं किया है. So that's why it is in news. It is a multilateral treaty that all forms of nuclear. This is correct. This, ठीक है. तो I told you P5. All right. Yes, Cape Town Convention. It was recently in news. किससे related था ये? It is related to we can say that financing and leasing of certain mobile equipments or goods, we can say, or we can say equipments, like for example helicopters, aircrafts. Okay, now this particular convention is to promote trade, leasing at international level of these equipments like aircrafts, leasing of aircrafts. खरीदना बहुत मुश्किल हो जाता है, इतना महंगा पड़ता है. So leasing is very common practice in international market for these aircrafts, helicopters and ships. ठीक है, तो उसके लिए हम बोल सकते हैं ये उससे related है ये Cape Town Convention. Okay, so it was in news recently. That's why we are covering this. D is the correct answer, right? This one. National Games. 37th edition of National Games will be held in Goa, not Haryana. First incorrect. Why we are covering this? Because every year UPSC is asking 1 or 2 questions related to sports. ठीक है. Square martial art, yachting, taekwondo are games that are going to make their debut at national games. See, taekwondo established hai already,
Yes.
but in previous edition of game these two were not part. Now they have returned again to the, so this, that means it is not debut. Debut is for this one, square martial art, and this square martial art is not from Andhra Pradesh, it is from Kashmir region. ठीक है, so it is kind of sword and shield game. ठीक है, wooden swords होता है, उसके ऊपर leather cover होता है, and this is how the martial art form from Kashmir. ठीक है, not अरुणाचल प्रदेश. हमें लगता है कि वो नॉर्थ ईस्ट से होगा मार्शल आर्ट है या फिर सदर्न इंडिया से, but it is from Kashmir. So all 3 statements are incorrect here. So D is the correct answer. ठीक है, right. Yes, this particular institute, Asia Pacific Institute for Broadcasting Development, AIBD, was in news. Why? Because for continuously 3rd time, or let's say India has been elected for continuous 3rd term for this particular we can say institute. ठीक है, तो India has been elected as a president of AIBD for 2nd लिखा हुआ है continuously in a row. So this is incorrect. Works in the field of electronic media development, this is true. Prasar Bharati is the representative body, this is also true. This body is located, headquarter in Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur. ठीक है, Kuala Lumpur, ठीक है, Malaysia. So how many statements? This one, 2 statements are correct here. Okay, so significance of the day. On this very day in past, first artificial satellite, that is Sputnik 1, was launched by USSR at that time. So this is correct. Sputnik, इसी के नाम पे वो वैक्सीन का नाम दिया था. ठीक है, it was launched by NASA. Incorrect. Sputnik was by USSR. ठीक है, स्पेरिकल सैटेलाइट विथ 4 लॉन्ग एंटेनास डिस्क्राइब किया हुआ है, सही किया हुआ है. ठीक है, हाँ. सो अगेन 2 स्टेटमेंट्स आर करेक्ट हियर, 1 इज इनकरेक्ट. स्पुटनिक, उसके बाद में उन्होंने स्पुटनिक 1, 2, 3, 4 ऐसे बहुत सारे उन्होंने लॉन्च किए हुए हैं. ठीक है, नीलगिरी थार वॉज इन न्यूज. ठीक है, यस. सो इट इज द स्टेट एनिमल ऑफ तमिलनाडु. Okay, yes, it is found in Nilgiris but not restricted. In some other hills in the Western Ghats also it is found. Its habitat. So it's not endemic, we can say. Listed as critically endangered. Endangered. Listed as endangered. and it is the only species in the genus Nilgiri tragus. Now it is unique thing, no? In that particular genus, only species is added. Okay, so that's why, and it is related to sheep of genus Ovis. So this is true, and other three statements are incorrect, and that's why answer becomes Nilgiri tar. Okay?
So it was in use because of the survey they want to conduct.
First Nilgiri tar day on 7th October. Tamil Nadu to celebrate first Nilgiri tar day.
So they are going to conduct survey as well, I think.
हाँ, हो सकता है.
In collaboration with Kerala.
Okay. Yes. Money bills. Right. How many of the above statements are correct about money bill? It can be only introduced in Lok Sabha. This is true. Article 110. Provisions from Article 110. If the bill is containing only those provisions, then it is certified as money bill. Who certifies this? Speaker of Lok Sabha. Once passed by Lok Sabha, a money bill must be sent to Rajya Sabha for its consideration. This is true. Rajya Sabha consider this for?
Some deliberation, recommendation.
Yes, it discusses, deliberates and gives some recommendations also. But accepting those recommendations is not compulsory. This is true. So all three statements are correct here about the.
Yes.
ठीक है? Okay. This one. India, known for rich biodiversity, hosts significant number of amphibian species. Then the Himalayan region in India is a region with high concentration of amphibian species. So when we say amphibians, generally the species diversity is more near the equator or in tropical regions and less in temperate regions, cooler regions. Using that logic also one can eliminate this. Himalayan region in India is not having high concentration of amphibians. Amphibians living in water as well as
Land.
so more coastal areas will have the diversity for amphibians and tropical regions. We can say that Western Ghats and the coastal regions of Karnataka, Kerala and Tamil Nadu, that region is having high concentration of this amphibian diversity in India. Okay? Not in Himalayan region. So, so second statement will be incorrect, so that's why C is the correct answer here. Yes, World Cup is going on. ठीक है, कल का मैच तो जीत गए आराम से. फाइन, लगता है इस बार जीतेंगे. हाँ, ठीक है, होप सो. ODI Cricket World Cup 2023 consider this is the first time that all matches of an ODI World Cup will be hosted by India. See, कुछ भी एकदम फर्स्ट टाइम हो रहा है ना, तो यूपीसी के लिए अभी क्रिकेट और ये भी जैसे लास्ट ईयर वर्ल्ड टेस्ट चैंपियनशिप फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम इट हैपेंड, नो? So that's why they ask question in prelims.
Yes, sir.
Now, yes, this is for the first time all matches of the World Cup will be hosted in India.
All the matches.
All matches. In previous editions, like 2011 में जो इंडिया में हुआ था, तो that was co-hosted by श्रीलंका, बांग्लादेश, पाकिस्तान also. Okay, so this is for the first time India is hosting the World Cup and with all matches. 10 स्टेडियम्स है इंडिया के जहाँ पे ये मैचेस हो रहे हैं. ठीक है. इंडिया बीइंग द होस्ट नेशन ऑटोमेटिकली क्वालिफाइज फॉर वर्ल्ड कप. ये भी क्राइटेरिया है, देखो. ठीक है. देखो, यूपीएससी विल नॉट आस्क हाउ मेनी मैचेस आर वन बाय इंडिया, कौन सा मैच किसने जीता, कितने रन से जीता, वो नहीं पूछेंगे. यूनिक फीचर्स ऑफ दैट इवेंट यूपीएससी विल आस्क दिस. A total of 10 teams have been divided in 2 groups at the group stages. नहीं ना? No. There are total 10 teams, but each and every team will play with the other team in the group stage. So they have not been divided in 2 parts. जैसे हम छोटे थे तब के वर्ल्ड कप में ऐसा होता था, A ग्रुप एंड B ग्रुप, उनमें मैचेस हो गए, फिर 2 सेमीफाइनल्स में जाएंगे. Now here each team will play with other team. And finally, the 4 teams with the highest run rate, they will qualify for semi-finals. And then there will be final. ठीक है, तो this is incorrect. Okay, so first 2 statements are correct here. B is the correct answer. Okay, so fine. What about this one? Takkar Declaration on climate change. Recently, around 45 to 46 LDCs, least developed countries, came together and deliberated on the impact of climate change that is happening on those countries, and how these countries are contributing more, let's say very less towards this climate change, and they are at receiving end of this climate change impact, right? So now they will have more and more demands at COP28 through this declaration. They are forming a pressure group, international pressure group. So yes, developed countries are urged to fund resources excess of $100 billion to address the impact of climate change. Through this declaration, they are emphasizing on more and more financial transfers. And then least developed countries account for more than 14% of global population, but only 1% of total carbon emissions. So it is disproportionately, let's say, impacting them. Okay, so they are not the largest carbon emitter, but they are at receiving end. This particular declaration mentioned this fact, and this is true. Both statements are true here. There can be question related to like Takkar Declaration recently seen in news related to. Okay, but in past there has been other Takkar declarations also related to WHO health, and there was one Takkar declaration related to road safety. तो ये तीनों भी आपको थोड़ा सा आइडिया होना चाहिए. You should be knowing about it. ठीक है? Separately. Least developed countries came together. Okay, and they started, discussing about, let's say, the common interest, we can say. They want to put it as a part of COP deliberations that will happen.
So G20
G20. But this is specifically least developed countries, alag se. Like we had separate Global South Summit, right? So now they are having their own separate summits, least developed countries. Okay, fine. So these are today's MCQs. Okay, let us stop. Thank you.